Listen to part of a talk in an archaeology class.
Welcome everyone to Archaeology 101. I'm Adam Whitman, your assistant professor for this semester. Today on our first day, I'd like to provide you with an overview of archaeology by introducing a figure who greatly influenced my journey into this field. His name is Roy Chapman Andrews. Mike, have you ever come across his name?
No.
No worries. Let me try a different angle. Do you happen to be familiar with a very popular movie franchise featuring an adventurous archaeologist who travels around the world in search of hidden treasures and ancient artifacts? Ring any bells?
Oh, I got it. It's Indiana Jones that you're talking about.
Exactly. Indiana Jones served as an inspiration for my youthful adventures, but it was later revealed that the character was partly based on a real-life archaeologist, and that was no other than Roy Chapman Andrews. Indiana Jones is believed to be based on several people and characters, but Roy Chapman Andrews is certainly one of them, the most noticeable characteristic being the iconic fedora hat. In fact, many black and white photos show Andrews sporting the same type of hat. Many film experts have pointed out this connection. Now let me continue to talk a little bit more about this great archaeologist to give you a basic understanding of archaeology and what archaeologists do. Andrews is best known for his expeditions in the Gobi Desert. He and his team embarked on a groundbreaking journey there to investigate the origin of the human race. Andrews's primary motivation for exploring the Gobi was to provide evidence that mankind originated and evolved in Asia. Currently, it is widely accepted that the origin of humanity pursued by the Central Asian expedition in the Gobi Desert is in Africa. In those days, however, finding the origin of humans was a major focus in anthropology. In 1891, Java man was discovered on the island of Java in Indonesia, and in 1921, the teeth of Peking man were found in Beijing, China, and the skull was discovered in 1929. All these finds made Asia a very strong and promising candidate. Although he couldn't find any direct evidence of the origin of humans, he did discover that the Gobi Desert was rich in dinosaur and mammal fossils beyond anyone's wildest dreams back then. Now imagine, Andrews's prime time as an archaeologist was in the 1920s. So, really, we're talking about a man from about 100 years ago. In this day and age, we have computers, cell phones, satellite phones, GPS, Wi-Fi, you name it. However, none of these technological gadgets existed in the times of Roy Chapman Andrews. So, communication was never an easy practice.
So, how did they communicate with other team members? Also, how did they even find their way around the Gobi Desert without GPS? It is, and I'm sure it must have been seemingly a vast barren empty land.
Those are good questions. The answer is, they navigated using celestial bodies. Latitude was determined by observing the angle of the North Star, and longitude was calculated from the time difference when the sun reached its zenith between two locations. Also, there were indeed many researchers on the team, and they did sometimes split up. When they did that, their rendezvous was very minutely timed in advance. I hope this has answered your questions.
Yes, thank you.
In this day and age, we are surrounded by varied types of technological gadgets. We are able to communicate with people 1,000 miles away with ease. We are able to take hundreds of photos and share them with other people with ease. But archaeological research a century ago was conducted with none of these technological benefits. Sometimes it really was a dangerous trip. Some might say it was literally an adventure. I'm not sure how many of you here are going to be majoring in archaeology, but I really do hope that you all recognize that we owe so much of our knowledge to those who delved into this field. And this is not necessarily the case with the field of archaeology. This applies to all the other academic subjects, but it is also true that archaeological research was, and still is, a very time-consuming and mind-numbing job. Roy Chapman Andrews never got to discover the evidence regarding the origin of humanity in Asia, but his findings certainly changed the world. He is said to have been one of the models for Indiana Jones, who is literally a hero. But sometimes, the most heroic thing you can do is not to go on adventures, but to believe in yourself and continue to do what you do. I hope both archaeological majors and non-archaeological majors keep that in mind. All right, now get your textbooks out and open to page 12.